So guys, you saw that. That was Idani Rodriguez running the 15th Congressional District. What do you think, guys? He did not answer my question. I was asking him again and again, should the National Guard...
Why weren't we put in to these hospitals immediately to save these people? So that was kind of my first red flag, but I did end up getting assigned to Elmhurst Hospital. And what I quickly realized when I got there is that it was really a free-for-all, and that executive order that you referenced that Cuomo signed, you know, in that executive order, he removed all liability for all healthcare professionals. So, you know, nothing good comes from a liability-free environment, and that's kind of what happened, is people were doing whatever they wanted to. We were banned. Cuomo also banned the use of the hydroxychloroquine, which we weren't even able to use that. We were very successful using that in Florida. Our governor didn't ban it. So very different, you know, comparisons there. And then, you know, the first line of defense was a ventilator. And, you know, they were mixing COVID negative patients with COVID positive patients. It was just an absolute disaster.
Tell me about that. I saw you on Tucker Carlson, and you had a undercover video. You were speaking to another nurse, and they had COVID patients in the same floor or same unit.
Very few countries in the world lost more people to coronavirus than New York did, and no states lost more in the United States. How exactly did that happen? It's a question that needs a serious answer. Many people died. Finding out seems of no interest whatsoever to the press. They'd rather shame people for visiting the beach. ERIN Marie OLSZEWSKI is a nurse. She spent almost a month working in New York's Elmhurst Hospital. That was the epicenter of the coronavirus outbreak in the state. She was so shocked by what she saw that she began to collect undercover footage of what was happening around her.
This patient is in with like a non-COVID. I don't understand why they're doing that.
I know. There's 4 patients in a row here non-COVID. And this is supposed to be the COVID.
Yeah.
Because 7th floor, they shut it down.
That's right. I'm confused.
And then they're going to have non-COVID there.
Yeah.
This is going to be the only COVID, so they shouldn't put any non-COVIDs here.
Well, that's what they've been doing. The guy over in 29, I had him upstairs because I was on CCU before it.
Yeah.
And he came in with a stroke.
I know, that's what 26-1 was, a stroke.
And no COVID, and now he's got COVID, and he's on a vent.
Well, because we gave it to him here.
ERIN OLSZEWSKI is the author of the forthcoming book, The Undercover Epicenter Nurse. She joins us tonight. ERIN, thanks so much for coming on. Thank you for doing this. The insides of hospitals
thank you for having me.
Rest of us. So tell us what we just saw. Explain the video we played, if you would.
Well, this was a pretty common occurrence, and the video shows COVID and non-COVID being housed in the same floor, sometimes in the same rooms, which is ultimately creating, you know, hospital-acquired infections of COVID. It's nosocomial infections. So, you know, people will be admitted without COVID, and they will end up getting COVID. Sometimes they'll be awaiting their tests, which would take anywhere from 5 to 10 days to see if they had COVID and be admitted to these floors while they waited.
I mean, where does this end? And why aren't these people being held accountable?
You mentioned Janice Dean. I remember a few days ago, they had her on the list. I know you're aware of that. I know you spoke about it. And they had her on the list, and then they just took her off abruptly. And I was on the not on the list, but I sent an email to the committee, and I said that I know they're talking about people that lost their loved ones, but my grandmother, who has been deteriorating, I wanted to know if there was a spot also for folks like me, family, that we could speak about it. And they wrote me an email half hour before the hearing on Monday, the 10th, and they said they were full. They were full. And also the DOH Commissioner Zucker, he didn't show up. No, he sent no one. And the point is, they had the subpoena power, and they did not subpoena not one person on Governor Cuomo's team. What do you think about that? I mean, it was just wish-wash, I call it.
I mean, when is enough enough? You know, like, this is corrupt. I think the majority of the public, even that may have never, you know, trusted the government all the way up until this hour, are realizing that maybe they're not on our side, and maybe there's more to this, and why are they getting away with murder? And why don't we have a federal investigation going already?
Everybody that lost a family member, that I'm sorry. And I feel like our profession failed you guys, and this is why I wanted my sunglasses. So I wrote a speech, so I just wanted to thank you for allowing me to be here and returning to this lion's den, essentially. The last time I flew into New York, I was on my way to Elmhurst Hospital as a travel nurse, sent in to serve on the front lines of the COVID-19 outbreak. It was the early days of the pandemic, and I had no idea what to expect. As I began to discover the truth about what was happening here in New York, I found that nobody else around me wanted to hear it. I was a lone wolf, essentially. So today, I'm so grateful to have all of you, my pack, with me. You're the ones who refuse to let people die because of politics, ego, and greed. And the ones that believe the truth still